What's really up? It's another episode of Cheap Brunch. It's your boy, A-Dub. I'm one of your co-hosts of the trio. And to my right, I got
Joyce.
And to the right of her, we got
David Cook.
Man, and to the right of Mr. Cook, we got
Ali Bo for show.
Why do you have to keep
Every
doing
single
that
time.
Ali Bo for show?
I don't think you hear
What
yourself.
is that?
That's just mine. I'll just add that. I'll just add that. Extras.
Like, that's not on your IG handle. It's
That's
not
what you
on
really
no
should
accounts.
switch your IG handle to.
Ali for
Ali
show.
Bo for show.
Y'all like the for show though?
I do like the for
Like,
show.
but what is that?
Because it's just like Bo show, right?
Just add
No?
dubs on it.
I love it and hate it at the same time.
Alright,
I love it and hate it at the
let's
same time.
let's
I mean, so today we have an amazing guest, a very special guest, somebody who is really changing lives out here. He's doing a lot of special things, not only for the black community, but for the world. And so we want to introduce our man, our brother, our friend, David Cook over here. Mr. Cook, could you please tell us a little something about yourself?
I mean, what do you want to know? Where do you want to start?
I mean, just, tell us, a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your brand. Tell us what you do. How have you impacted the community? What are some beliefs that you stand on? What's really important to you on how you carry yourself as David Cook?
Sure. Man, I think, sitting between these two, let me just start there.
Right. Right.
We all come from Bel Air, California. We had a upbringing together. And so to be able to come from the upbringing that I had to what God has brought me to today is amazing within itself. I did music all my life. I'll start there. I started writing music around 6 years old. They took me serious around the time I was 9 years old.
Okay.
My first album was in stores. I was 13, and that was my life. I did that till I was about 24 years old. I remember doing a solo song on Dre's album, Mac Dre, and we did a lot of high school tours and things. So you would have asked me as a child what you gonna be when you grow up. The answer was I'm already doing it.
You was gonna be signing things. It was up.
No, like he was doing concerts at schools. Like I remember, yeah.
Yeah, that poster.
Yeah, the poster.
What was
Black
your rap
background.
name?
Chance, just short for Chance.
Chance? Short for Chauncey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doing big things though, right?
Yeah. Give us, what was the name of that track you was on?
Stop the perpetration. That was on the Don't Hate the Play, Hate the Game.
Come on, I knew you gotta remember the track that you was on. Come on, man. Rest in peace, Mac Dre, man. And so, go ahead.
But that was my life, just to give you some backstory. So I never thought, what I do now didn't even exist in my mind. At the age of 24, I just felt like there had to be something big out there. And I remember sitting in front of an apartment complex in South Philly and just having a conversation with myself. And that was that I have two children, or three now, but two at the time. And they can't do or say what they haven't seen or heard. And so whatever example we set for them, that's naturally what they'll follow. And if you set the ungodly example, and that's what they'll follow. They'll be lost and miserable just like you. To understand that and to still continuously do that, you can't really say you love your children. And at that point you're selfish and a coward. So at that point, I said it's time to be a man. So I gave it to God, not to say I'm a saint, but I said I know if I just listen to half of what you tell me, I'm gonna be a lot better than
100%.
So I put the microphone down because I knew that the music I was making was not what he wanted me to do. And I had no idea that what I do now even existed. But I read a book called Ministry of Healing. I learned that you can help people get rid of illness through natural remedies. And so I was working with people that had diabetes and things of that sort for a couple years. Then I learned of a place in Nebraska that was curing AIDS and cancer. And I went there for what was supposed to be a 6-month training course and ended up staying there for a year and a half. And they cured many cancer patients, 5 AIDS patients in fact. And I returned to Cali in 2013 doing the work independently. And then we opened our own center about 5 years ago. And then another center in Sacramento about a year and a half.
Where was the initial center at?
Manton, about 3 hours north from here,
Okay.
about an hour past Reading.
Okay.
It's a small town, population 300.
Okay. I know, because you sound like you're a very spiritual man, or would you say religious man?
I don't know, man. I just feel like after having experiences with God, I definitely believe in God. I definitely believe that we all have a calling and a purpose. And in my opinion, you get one life, right? And the one life you get on this earth is this short. Now, you got a few seconds here.
Yeah, that's fact.
I refuse to spend the few seconds that I have here anything less than great.
Okay.
Right?
Respect.
And so to maximize my great, I want to make sure that I go to the source of great every day.
All right.
Right.
And what is that source?
God, the creator of the universe.
Okay, that's crazy you said that. Because it's not crazy, but it's funny you said that because I was thinking in my head. So it seems like you're a very religious man. How do you feel about people that say they're not religious but spiritual?
I mean, I guess each individual would have to define what that means for me to even have something to say about it. But I mean, religion, spiritual. I mean, God is a spirit. So I mean, I don't know exactly what a person means when they say spiritual versus religion. I mean, you got the whole.
Well, to be
There's
honest,
so many different avenues.
Yeah, that's
It can.
Just
Right,
elaborate.
right. I think I can only speak for me. So when I think of spirituality, not saying that you're not, I think that you are connected to the I am. Like you're connected to a bigger entity. Yeah, I was like tongue tied for a second. Yeah, the fact that like you believe in something but not necessarily like going to a religious practice every day. Like, you know what I mean? You wouldn't be praying 5 times a day, or you wouldn't go to church every Sunday, but you would still consider yourself like connected to some sort of higher power. That's what I get out of spirituality, and that can look very different for, you know, depending on who you talk to,
Right.
or what part of the world you're in.
And so
You know what I mean?
let me ask you, Mr. Cook. So, what if you had to choose a religion or that you follow? Do you
I'm
have
a Christian.
You a Christian?
Okay.
100%.
A Seventh-day Adventist Christian.
Okay.
And what
Seven
made you
minutes.
choose that particular religion to go? You know?
I mean, you know, you reach a point where you say, okay, they've been saying that this is the truth. I can't just accept it and conform my life to it because my mother or my grandmother said this is truth. I had to research it out for myself.
Come on.
And it was prophecy and its fulfillment, meaning in the Bible, like in the book of Daniel, Revelation, there are things that are prophesied down to the very letter. The rise and fall of the kingdoms
Come on,
from
brother, break it down.
Babylon to Medo-Persia to Greece, Alexander the Great being the first king of Greece.
He's not Alexander the Great, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Go ahead.
That should be
Yeah.
your hashtag.
Oh, I like that.
Alexander the Great.
Come on,
Yeah,
Jeremy.
but I don't think
I'm sure
know
there's many
everything
people out
about
there that
You just gotta stop simping, and then
I'm
Alexander
a
the
simper.
Great.
I'm a
will
simper.
be-
I'm a simper.
You a simper?
Don't claim the simp.
You want to claim that?
When
So
you
you
marry,
represent
you
the
like to
simpers?
become a simper.
Well, let me ask you this, Chauncey. So, well, David, it's gonna be hard for me to call you
Yeah,
David.
no, Chauncey's
Yeah,
fine.
because you know what I mean. That's how I met him.
Sure.
And he's younger than me, so you know. Okay, so my issue, exactly. My shout out, R.I.P. Fillmore Graham.
R.I.P.
Okay.
Fillmore
You know what I'm
Graham.
saying?
Alright.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
One thing that gets me, and we always have these debates too, are people who identify as being Christian, but when you ask them, have you ever read the entire Bible? A lot of them have not, but they are willing to like go toe to toe with something that they won't even dedicate their time
Right.
to like just read, right? Like if I say that I believe in something or I'm willing to follow something, the least I could do is like spend some time, at least an hour a day, right? And just like read it and learn to understand it. Like, how do you feel about that? Because that bothers me.
Yeah.
You know, like I have people that will argue me down, right? And condemn us all to hell. But I've read the Bible front to back, you know what I mean? And they haven't, right? So like, where do those types of people stand? Like, in your opinion?
Well, I mean, for instance, we have these two glasses right here, right?
Okay.
One has, what is that?
Okay, give me the metaphor.
Apple
This is the apple cider.
Okay, so we got apple cider in here,
Yeah.
we got water in here.
Okay.
If I turn this upside down, apple cider is going to come out.
Yes.
If I turn this upside down, water's going to come out.
Correct.
The point is, we are vessels. Whatever we put in us is what's going to come out.
Okay.
So, at the end of the day, if you're a Christian, it would behoove you to be, you know, to spend time every day in the Word of God. And as you do so, because life circumstances are going to turn you upside down, right? And when they do, pure water will come out, right? If you're constantly filling yourself with, you know, with good things, with God's Word. But on the flip side, if we fill ourselves with the garbage on TV, the pornography, the music we probably shouldn't be listening to, that's what's going to come out.
Yeah.
When we're poured upside down.
Joyce got that
I
look on her
felt
face.
convicted.
Yeah, I did too. I was
felt a
ready
little
to like,
convicted. I felt a little convicted.
God, the things
I
that
felt
I'm
a little
doing
convicted.
cleanse
You
me
know what I
right
mean?
now.
Right now. Like,
What
man,
got-
put me on
what
the
got-
chair
What
now.
got you convicted? The Pornhub or?
Absolutely. Yeah, but I am a single woman though.
I know nothing about your personal life.
Right. I'm a single woman though.
Sorry,
I'm a single woman though, so it's fair for me to say that.
Understandable.
Okay, because you
Shout
kind of
out
blast me.
Pornhub. I was just saying if you was Ebony XXX. I didn't know.
Oh, I didn't even know.
They got one of those. You didn't know about that one? Go check it out.
Don't do that.
So, Chauncey, we see you out here helping people cure things that they say is uncurable. All right. So, how does that feel? Just being a person that can impact somebody's life to prolong it.
Man, listen, man.
Are you getting that strength from God? I'm saying, or is it like?
Of course, man.
Explain
Like,
this.
and see, it's not one of those things where like, you know, you got the people on TV like they put their hands on.
Right.
No, this is practical healing. This is if you put your hand on the stove, the cure is to take it off the stove, and then cold water and aloe vera might help speed up the process of healing. But you have to take your hand off the stove first. So like, we mainly get cancer patients. The number one cause of cancer is animal products today because of the steroids that they're fed, the antibiotics. And so one of the first things we do is we put them on a plant-based diet. For most people, that's the cause, right? Or if, you know, they have cigarettes in their life, whatever the case is. So we eliminate the cause, and then we use hydrotherapy and herbal therapy to speed up the process. So we might give them a fever bath, and we put them in a bathtub of 110 degrees water, and we use a meat thermometer to check the temperature of the water, and a regular thermometer to check their body temperature every few minutes. Once their temperature has risen 3.5 degrees higher than where they began, they now have a fever, and their body's natural reaction to the fever is to multiply the white blood cells, which will kill the cancer cells. Right. So it's like giving you a natural chemotherapy without killing your good cells or killing you.
Right.
So
like
we do that. Russian steam baths. We'll give you herbal teas. We make poultices where we can either shrink the tumor, you know, inside, or we can pull it right out.
I was going to ask a question. So are your, like, let's say a cancer patient, are they coming to you all like as a last line of defense, or is this like, can this actually be like preventative as well? Like, do you all offer like preventative practices too?
Well,
Because I really feel like my spirit, I need to be vegan.
Yes.
I feel like my
You
spirit will
are
resonate
vegan,
with being vegan.
Okay, how long have you been vegan?
13 years.
Ooh,
13 years.
No meat.
Lord,
No meat, no dairy.
wow. It's
How do
just
you
no,
feel
it's just
like-
no substitution for
How do you
cheese.
feel like
though.
that dietary change has affected you in your lifestyle?
Well, I mean, what affects the body affects the mind. Like you know, you got a clear body, you got a clear mind. You know, and it definitely. And I mean, you can eat a healthy diet and eat too much of it, eat in between meals, eat right before bedtime. You're still gonna have, you know, some issues. So it's more than just what you eat; it's how you eat it, and so forth. But I mean, diet is just one aspect of it.
Yeah.
We have what we call the laws of health. Like it's a rule and a law that if you want to live, no matter who you are, if you're rich, poor, young, old, male or female, you have to have oxygen. Right? You have to have air. That's a law.
Yeah.
Right? You violate that law, what happens?
You die.
It's over, right? Okay.
Bye, birdie.
So it's the same thing with every other law of health that governs us. Sleep, nutrition, like you have to eat. God could have made this in a way where you never have to eat, you never have to sleep. Right? But because these are things that govern us, it would behoove us to make sure that we get
I got a question for you. Al, did you want to ask yours first?
I'll go after you. Go ahead.
So I got a question. So you talked about, you know, your holistic healing and how those things, your natural healings and how those things have affected people. With all those positive things that you guys have done, there has to be some setbacks. There has to be some negatives, some downsides, some trials that didn't go the way that you anticipated those going. So could you explain some of those and how you go about it?
When I trained doing this work years ago, the guy that was training me, he turned to me and said, Chauncey, this is going to be the hardest work you ever done. It's the most rewarding, but it's the hardest. And the reason being is, so for instance, they had a lady come in with cirrhosis of the liver. She was supposed to die. They cured her. It was gone. The reason she had it is she had a drinking problem. When she went home to celebrate being cured, they had a keg party. You know.
Wow.
Right.
4 months later,
Her
it's back.
environment.
4 months later,
Yeah.
it's back. They called her like, hey, we need to get her back up there. They didn't have room for her to come. She ended up passing away. So you get people, like we just got a call the other day. You know, one of the people we were working with went back to the doctors and the cancer's gone, like completely gone. So you get people that stick to it and it's gone. Then you get people that, when you come to us, you come to our facility for 21 days. Within those 21 days, we expect to get rid of the tumor. We expect to decrease the cancer markers, increase the white blood cells, but it's going to take longer than that. You know, we normally say give it about 3 to 6 months.
Need the consistency.
Right,
Okay.
right. So it's up to them to keep it home. You know, keep it up when they get home. We like to say we have a 90% success rate, but that's based on what happens while you're with us. Right? We can't control what you do when you get home. But when the people come, I mean, if you see the videos, you'll see tumors in my hand, and you know, whether we're pulling them or we're shrinking them, you'll see cancer markers are being normal. We've had people come with tumors the size of grapefruits, and just within a matter of weeks they're gone. Or people come with stage 4 cancer in the liver, the bones, and the lungs, with 3 weeks to live on hospice, and just in a few weeks they're off hospice. Cancer markers are normal, tumors are gone.
What? You want to go ahead? Go ahead.
Yeah, what I was gonna say was, it seems like so you guys do a full body cleanse, full mind cleanse, everything. Like
Right.
you guys are cleansing basically the whole body,
Make 'em whole.
the mind, make
Your
them whole
environment too.
with a lot of prayer.
That's right.
Okay, I got you right.
And
So-
here's the thing, because I want to, especially being at home.
Yeah.
I'm not a saint, right?
Yeah, right.
I'm a sinner saved by grace. I'm somebody who strives to be the best I can be every day. But like I said earlier, I feel that when you want to do good, you should draw from the source of good. When you want to be great, you should draw from the source of great. And what we've accomplished, like here's the thing that blows my mind sometimes. I was kicked out of high school 2 months before graduation. I've never been to anybody's college, right? You have the doctors have been to school for 8 years, and then they have to do the 4 years of the intern. So 12 years of schooling basically, and they do the chemotherapy, and then they say, hey, there's nothing else we can do. Then the people normally come to us at that point. When there's nothing else that can be done.
Let me ask you a question about that, because he spoke about Big Pharma.
I was just about to say, hey,
We
we
went to
be on
frequency.
that.
We went to
Right.
frequency. I understand that, these men and women, they go to college to learn about the procedures and laws that they are supposed to live by and abide by.
Right.
Within that medical field, because it benefits the big pharmaceutical companies.
Right.
To
And let me just say,
continuously go.
doctors have their place. You break a leg, please go see a doctor.
Right.
But the thing is,
Internally.
the immune system was put in your body to kill off disease. Anytime you take something that destroys the immune system, you should probably, that's probably something you want to run away from.
But how do you feel about the big pharma? How do you feel about people who choose to go with, man-made medicine versus holistic practices? Do you condemn them for that? Do you think that man-made practices still work? Like, is it a 50-50? Like, what do you go with?
Well, I mean, so like I was just saying, because the medications compromise the immune system, it's not something I would recommend. But I don't condemn a person.
And this is
that takes-
man-made medication.
Right, man-made medication. I don't condemn a person that takes medication because really it's just a lack of knowledge. And a lot of people are operating out of fear. They're like, especially when they have like a deadly illness, I need to do something now. And the doctors are on you like, you got to do the chemo now or you're going to die.
Yeah.
But when you really take a step back to look at it from, an educated standpoint, that which destroys the immune system can't be designed to help you, get rid of the cancer completely. I mean, the chemo will kill cancer cells, but it never really gets rid of the cancer completely.
Yeah, I feel like when people take chemo, they always dang near come out worse than they went in.
Yeah.
Because it's in the process of killing the cancer cells, is already killing your
Killing
natural
everything
cells.
else.
And
It's killing everything else as well.
That's right. Not just chemo, just medication, period. I mean, just
Period. I agree.
look at these commercials. It's like a 30-second commercial,
Right.
10 seconds of advertisement, and 20 seconds of disclaimer.
Yeah.
It's like, if you have a headache, try this. May cause heart attack, stroke. Like,
Yeah. So
Right.
basically, Chauncey, you turned your whole life around, and it's people that's younger than you or kids that was in your position. Like, what advice do you have for them, man? And how do you from the Crest, right?
How do buddies
So
feel?
how do the Cuddies feel about your whole turnaround and your life change?
I mean, those that are really, connected with me and have been with me, from the past, they definitely respect the growth.
Yeah.
You can't always expect people to be where you are because they didn't go down the same path. Everybody has a different journey, and I respect everybody else's journey as well. But I feel like we're all put here to be lights. So I just aspire to be the shining light that I'm supposed to be everywhere I go.
So that's dope.
And every day, like Joyce was saying, you feel like a person should read from their Bible. You know, it's funny. I tell this story where, and I'm gonna make it short. It's probably 2013, 14. I was working at a car dealership for a few months. I was closing one night. Long story short, some young teenagers came and broke in. I stopped them. Was getting ready to let them go. Police just so happened to come. They handcuffed all of us. I'm in a suit and tie on the ground, right? Wow. Gun in my head.
Wow.
I'm trying to explain to them, man, I work here. I'm letting these children go or whatever. When the man finally found out, he felt bad, you know, and he was pretty much scared because, you know, maybe lose his job or something. And I could have went the route, man, I'm suing you, you know, and so forth. Yeah. But
because I want the bag. At this point, you already violated my rights.
My suit is dirty.
Yeah, my suit dirty. I feel away. I need reciprocation on the financial end.
Yeah. But several times he apologized, and each time I said, "It's all right, man. It's okay." And I guess my response wasn't enough. He was like, "Man, you know, am I good, or is this guy gonna go, you know, make a report?" But I never made a report. I gave him this book that some man gave my mother when I was 4 years old that taught her the truth. Fast forward, 2019, a similar incident outside of a Walmart waiting on my children to come outside of the store. The police were harassing two African-American men. And I ended up in handcuffs. It had nothing to do with the incident. But the only person that, you know, fell out there, and we were in a predominantly Caucasian, you know, area. I ended up in handcuffs. My response to the police was, look, man, I'm not, you know, in your situation. And when he said, walk away right now, normally, you know, maybe I'd have walked away. Yeah. My point was, the difference between those two scenarios, I was in my Bible. Right before the incident at the car dealership happened, right? The incident at the other place, I probably hadn't touched my Bible for a whole week. You see what I'm saying? So when circumstances pull you upside down, you know, that's what's going to come out. So I said all of that to say, my advice to those younger than me: fill yourself with positivity. Always go to the source of greatness, and that's God. Like you didn't just come from monkeys. You didn't just evolve out of a rock. There's a Creator that loves you, and He's doing everything in His power to get your attention. He's been trying to since you were a child.
I'm gonna take a second. And we're going to shout out our sponsors because it's the real deal, Holyfield, and I'm back in the bill. And man, number one, shout out Vintage Variation.
In the building.
It's always in the building. You see how I'm coming?
Shout out to who?
Vintage Variation.
What is that?
That's me, the one, the only, the everything.
I just want to make sure whoever you bigging up, they really get the big up. I don't know who it is.
And if you don't know, now you know.
You know now.
Yeah, D2 in the building, man. Shout out Controversial Creations.
Yes,
my man over there doing big things, man. Taking all these controversial topics and thoughts that's in your head and putting them on a little bit of something that you can represent.
Is that a clothing line?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Can we talk about the Jesus though real quick? Before we get into the Jesus though, shout out Rio Reels Productions.
Free Rio.
The man with the plan. He said it. Free Rio, man. And it's just like that. Y'all can't just keep booking Rio like he not finna shoot cheap brunch. It's not, what bro say? It's not the same.
Yeah, Rio's going up.
Rio going up. Yeah, book Rio.
Bookie.
Book
But
Rio.
we come first.
Book Rio.
You might not know.
Shout out What's the Wave podcast. You guys and shout out Podcast Bree over there in the back. And then we're going to shout out our special guest, Mr. Cook, David Cook, a V-Town rapper, a V-Town legend, a holistic doctor, a holistic healer, a counselor, somebody who just passing all this game and knowledge down to not only the bigger homies, but the little homies and everybody in between. Mr. Cook, tell us about your brand.
Saving Health Lifestyle Center, that's the name of the Lifestyle Center. The YouTube channel is Saving Health Network. That's where you can go see a lot of the amazing things that we do that we've been able to capture on video. And then I just, I finished the book. It's called 14 Laws of Perfect Health. It's in editing right now. So the goal is that this upcoming quarter, it'll be finished, and we'll be ready to release it.
I got a question for you.
I had a
Joyce,
question. Well, go ahead.
No, run it.
I can close.
Yeah, Joyce can close. Let me close.
You
She'll
wanna
go
close
get
it?
the close. You always want to just do the front.
I'm gonna close.
I want to do the front and the back.
And the side to side.
They like it like that. They want front, back, side to side. One hand on neck, one hand on front. All right, look, man. Modern day Casanova, man. Yeah, I just told you, and I ain't gonna tell you again. But I might tell you again because they want to hear it, man.
Okay.
All right, Friday. Okay, go ahead.
So
we real low key today.
we real low key today, and that's okay.
I kind of vibe.
I kind of
You kind
vibe.
of vibe. I
kinda
did. So
vibe.
I feel
I got a vibe.
I feel healthy. I feel like I'm more
I did.
intellectually sound.
Yes.
I feel like I have a better understanding not only on myself but on my spirituality
Right.
because of the guidance and the information that you provided to
Sure.
us. And you know, I feel like it's really important for not only individuals, people in the world to provide knowledge, but African American people of color to pass that information on down to each other, because a lot of times our history, our knowledge is hidden. And we are not provided the resources, the opportunities, or the tools to gain the information that we need, i.e. the Kyrie and the Kanye issues that's going on right now. And so when we do try to gain that intellectual knowledge, we always get stricken with, they crazy, there's something wrong with you, you're doing the wrong things. It's always a degrading kind of feeling. Similar to your situation with, with the police. You trying to stop a situation that's not proper, but in turn, you being, apprehended. You being put in a situation. And so,
I mean, I feel like, man, whatever you put it to be, if it's really what you're supposed to be, all you have to do is go forward and do it. Nothing's gonna stop you. But you. You're the only thing that can stop you.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever is for you, right? And it's just up to you to go get it. A person I really love right now is LaRussell. I'm so impressed with his movement, his grind, and doing it all by himself.
Right.
He just mentioned the other day that he sold 4,000 copies, but it made $100,000 because of the structure that they have set up without a label. So when Donald Trump was elected president, the next day, Charlamagne said something on the Breakfast Club, and that was, if the executive producer of a reality show called The Apprentice can become the president of the most powerful nation in the world, what's your excuse for not doing something with your life? Right? And that stuck with me. So, I mean, there's really no reason why you shouldn't be the greatest at whatever it is you're supposed to be, right?
Whatever
The greatest that you can be. Only hindrance is us.
That's true.
Well, now it doesn't really fit what I was going to say. The conversation went in a different way. The conversation just went, I should have went first, right? I should have went first. See, I should have took my shot. I didn't take my shot. But yeah. Oh, but one thing I wanted to touch on, and I'm not ready to wrap up, obviously. But I do like your motto and your setup. And I was watching the videos before you came. And I went back and watched some more. I think a lot of us black folks, we congregate so much around food. You know what I mean? Like, food is definitely our culture, and that's the thing that's actually killing all of us, right? Because when I was doing right, my skin was good, my hair was good, my nails were good, I was looking good, I was feeling good. You know what I mean? And then I came back out here with y'all and just started doing bad. But it's their fault.
wow, blame it on us.
But yeah, I think that part of the reason why we can't get ourselves together is because we are so clouded, and we're so clouded because of all this other crap that we doing on a day-to-day, So that's what I got from that. I appreciate you coming.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, man. Shout out Chauncey. Shout out David Cook. Hey, Al got all the old school names, man.
That's Continentals, man.
Hey, man, shout out to the Continentals of Omega, Boys and Girls Club, not the Boys Club of America.
One more thing. So we heard the old crest.
So Crest.
So crest?
Because really, I hadn't seen Chauncey in years, and then it was like,
Did he kill it though?
He killed it. It was no more challenge.
Can
He
you sit
shut all the
acapella?
challenge down.
Oh, man.
Sit down acapella, man.
Yeah, we're going to keep it on the health tip.
Alright, maybe next time. Next time, but go ahead.
Hey, man, it's been another episode
Yes, sir.
of Cheap Brunch.
Absolutely.
And, man, we just gonna wrap it up like that, man. Shout out to y'all. Like, comment, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us, please, on Instagram. And it's just like that. And we'll see you again next week.
Don't just look like something.
What?
Don't just look like something.
Don't just look like something.
Y'all
That was a bar.
That was
That was
nice.
wrong.
Yeah, it was. It was
I
nice.
didn't catch it the first time.
Ray, bro,
that
you
was
little
hard.
sick right
That was
now.
hard.